This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, whatever time it is with you and wherever you are. Thank you for downloading this SmackDown review. It's part of the WWE podcast. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have you listening along. I am Amanda, your host of this SmackDown review. And please remember that I'm back on Twitter. Give me a follow. I am at Amanda SD Review. So let's have a really quick look back through the card for Night of Champions. Let's see how we did with the predictions. So Cena versus Punk. I called this one right, a Cena win. I thought it was a bit of a weird match with a handshake and some hesitancy from Cena. I guess that's a return, if you like, of Cena. And we wait to see what's going to happen. Randy versus Cody in the King of the Ring final. I was wrong with this one. This one was a Cody win, and maybe this one's ramping up for the title to come back to Cody. There is talk of a double turn at SummerSlam, so we'll see what happens there. Asuka versus Jade in the Queen of the Ring final. Wrong again with this one. I went for Asuka, and Jade took it in what was, I thought, in my opinion, quite an underwhelming match, and to be honest, an underwhelming result. I don't see Jade in the title picture just yet, so perhaps that one's a bit of a waste. Fatu versus Solo for the US Championship. Wrong again. Solo won with help from a returning Tongaloa and a new family member. Rhea versus Raquel in a street fight. A few got this one right. Rhea win and a brilliant match. Definitely candidate for match of the night for me. Sammy versus Karrion Kross. Again, wrong. We had a Sammy win here. So maintaining my absolute terrible form in all kinds of prediction in WWE, I did terribly. I thought this was an okay PLE, not one that I'd ever rewatch. As I said, match of the night for me, Rhea versus Raquel. And we got the news that Royal Rumble next year is coming from Saudi. Yikes. I love Royal Rumble. That's a bit conflicting. I guess money talks, but yeah, how do we feel about that? I'm not sure. Okay, let's get to it and review the SmackDown that aired on 4th of July. And by the way, happy Independence Day to all of you from the US. And we were a pre-recorded show from Pittsburgh, which I assume followed immediately on from Raw on Monday. Joe starts off the show by welcoming us to the special July 4th edition, which, as I said, I think has been pre-recorded so that all the wrestlers and the production crew, etc., could have the day off on the 4th of July, which is very nice from Trips, and I don't think we would have seen such behaviour in the Vince era. We start off tonight's show with Solo arriving in a car and Jake and Fatu attacking him and his new gang, giving them a pretty decent beat down before the officials and Nick Aldis make it out to the car park and break them up. He's obviously fuming about being cheated out of the US title at Night of Champions, so I think this is shaping up to be a great story, watching him chase and terrorise Solo to get his title back. We then come inside and kick things off properly with Cody, the new King of the Ring, coming out to the ring, and we have a recap of the King of the Ring match and a reminder that Cody will face Cena at SummerSlam. Love the graphics for SummerSlam, by the way. Very cool. Loving it. Cody's in the ring with his crown. We don't seem to put these on our head anymore. I suppose we're worried about messing our hair up. But he's holding it and he points out the band that's on his wrist and tells everyone that a sick kid with leukemia gave it to him, and he gets the crowd to cheer for the kid, which is very nice and very Cody. He gets to business and asks what the crowns stand for. He says he left a piece of himself in the ring when he faced Jay, and he left a piece of himself in the ring in Riddle when he faced Randy. He says it stands for where we've been and the previous kings like Booker T, Bret Hart and Triple H, and it stands for where they are going, and that's SummerSlam, where he will meet John Cena. Before he gets any further, we get Randy's music hit, and he comes out looking very sombre indeed. As he's making his way to the ring, we get Joe and Wade remind us about Randy's failure, or I guess that's a strong word, say inability, to punt Cody, but how Cody had no such reluctance using the exposed turnbuckle to his advantage. Randy says to Cody that for weeks and weeks he told him that he would do whatever it took to win at King of the Ring, and he wouldn't hesitate. But at Night of Champions, he had him lined up for a punt, and he did hesitate. He tells Cody that he did manage to pull the trigger, and for that he respects him. He also says he won't forget it, but he respects him. He says what he wants is for Cody to promise that he will go on and beat John Cena and not squander this opportunity. We then get Drew's music here and a surprise return from him, and I'm loving his new merch. His new t-shirt says bored at work, and I am so getting that. I'm wearing it on my next Teams call. Drew does the whole you hang up thing to Cody and Randy, which I thought was actually pretty funny. He says they sound pathetic, and when did this beta male energy take over WWE, and thank God the alpha has returned. He says to Randy, you know you lost, you bottled the punt. He says Cody's been buttering up for months like a true politician, with a hug but then a knife in the back. He says, speaking of backs, remember how Cody attacked Randy's back at the first opportunity when he tweaked it in Riddle. He asks Randy what the hell happened to him. He says the legend of Randy Orton is dead. He turns his attention then to Cody and tells him that he wants him to win at SummerSlam, so Drew can face him and take the title off him. He says he won't hesitate, and as he turns around, he is blindsided by Randy, who drops him with an RKO. We end the segment with Randy and Cody having a brief face-to-face, and I don't think we are done with those two for a start, but what a great opener. And what a surprise having Drew back, and I don't mind at all him inserting himself into this picture. This is all looking very nice in the run-up to SummerSlam, and potentially even after SummerSlam now. We now go to backstage, where we have Charlotte, who I'm thinking has maybe tweaked her look. The last few times we've seen her, she's been a lot less ball gown and a little bit more sporty spice, which is cool. She's talking to Nick and asking about a title opportunity. Shock. Hold the front page. Charlotte Flair asks about a title opportunity. She assumes it's for Tiffany's title. Nick tells her that Tiffany is still deciding who she's going to face at Evolution. But in the meantime, he has tag team titles #1 contender match facing the Secret Service, Meechin and B-Fab. Charlotte looks seriously confused as Nick tells her if she wins, her and her tag team partner will have a title shot at Evolution. And we all see where this is going right. As the camera pans out, we've got Bliss standing there. And she tells Charlotte, you're welcome. And Charlotte says again that she doesn't want to be friends. And Bliss says she doesn't want to either. Charlotte tells Bliss, I don't share the spotlight. And guys, this was the line of the century for me. Bliss says, sorry to break it to you, but you haven't been in the spotlight for a long time. This is an opportunity for you to step back into it, which I thought was just absolutely brilliant. So true. Nick tells Charlotte, let him do his job and decides what's best for her. Nick tells Bliss, good luck with that, as Charlotte agrees to team with her. Interesting. So let's see how that one pans out in the match tonight. And we have that match coming up now with the Secret Service, Meechin and V-Fab versus Bliss and Flair for a #1 contenders match, which will be held for the tag titles at Evolution. Before that starts though, we see Drew walking backstage, selling the effects of the RKO like a trooper and looking typically raging. He says to Nick, I want Randy, but Nick says not tonight. Randy's left, but you can have him at Saturday night's main event next week. Fun. We then get Fatu with Nick, who says if Fatu gets himself a partner, he can face 2 of Solo's gang later on. We then get Jimmy walking by Fatu, who offers to tag with him. Fatu tells him, can he get in where he fits in? Jimmy says yeet, and they shake hands. So we've got there an alliance between Jimmy and Fatu. Could that be the start of the return of the bloodline? But it's certainly going to be an interesting match later on. Now back to this women's tag match, and I have to revise my earlier statement. Flair out wearing a very OTT orange gown. She looks like fire, not in a good way. We kick off with Bliss in with Meechin and Piper, who looks to have had a spa day. She's got a new hairdo and is looking like she's had a bath in fake tan. Before we can start the match, Flair though with the blind tag. She gets in and starts off. Meechin, as has been the case recently, making a good account of herself against the other 2 girls in the ring. Wade talking her up on comms, saying she is the most underrated woman in the locker room. She's good for sure, but that might be a bit of a stretch. We get the Secret Service taking control as all the women are outside the ring. Now got Piper in the ring, giving out sentons to everyone as Meechin manages to get the tag to B-Fab, who, to be fair to B-Fab, once again is putting in an excellent performance with some great moves. Bliss tags herself in and is rolling, taking out Alba and B-Fab. She's just about to hit Sister Abigail, but Alba breaks it up before she can. We got Flair back in. She hits a spear on Piper and goes up and hits the moonsault, but she isn't legal as whilst on the top rope she patronisingly tapped Bliss on the head. Bliss then hits Twisted Bliss and gets the win for the team of Flair and Bliss. So what do we think of this pairing? I guess we could see it coming a mile off, right? They've been building to it not so subtly for weeks now. I'm pleased that Bliss is going to be at Evolution. I would love to see her win a title, even if it is with Charlotte. I guess, do we think they take the win? I'm not so sure. I guess it depends on what the long-term plan is for the Judgment Day, and specifically Raquel and Roxanne Perez without Liv. So let's see. But it's interesting for sure. We now go backstage where we have Nick telling off the tag teams like a teacher for screwing up last week's tag match between the Wyatts and the Street Profits. He said all you had to do was stay out of the way. They all start arguing back with Nick, saying they only wanted to help save the division. He says you've made it very clear that you all want a piece of the Wyatts, so you're going to get it. He makes a match for one member of each team to make a team, effectively, and to face the Wyatts in an 8-man tag match tonight. If the Wyatts win, they're back in the title picture. So that's fun and unexpected. I think that should be a pretty awesome match, and that is coming up right now. So it's the Wyatts. So we've got Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, Uncle Howdy, and Rowan versus the team of Montez Ford, Berto, Gargano, and Sabre. And this is going to be frenetic and starts off with Berto in with Gacy. Quite a difference in styles here as Berto makes the tag. We've got Dexter in who literally just chucks Berto into the corner. And we've got Gargano in. And remember, these two have quite the history in NXT, although definitely not this version of Dexter. We've now got all 8 men in the ring, and the mass brawl kicks off, and it's all breaking down very early on. The Wyatts have got Ford in the ring and are giving him quite the beatdown after they smashed him outside the ring earlier. He's in desperate need of a tag. He finally manages to get the tag to Sabre, who comes in hot, managing to put away most of the Wyatt Six single-handedly. He gets a pin on Gacy, which Dexter has to break up. And this one moves to a finish as we get Rowan entering the match and basically annihilates the field. Rowan hits the Iron Claw Slam on Saban, getting the win for the Wyatt Six, so that puts them back in the title picture, which is cool. And they really seem to have shaken up what was already a pretty strong tag division here on SmackDown. So happy days for tag team fans. We've got plenty of tag matches tonight, which is a nice change. We now have got a promo from our new US champion Julia, and in all the excitement, in inverted commas, of Night of Champions, it had slipped my mind that Julia had taken the title from Zelina last week, and I'm happy about it all over again. Anyway, we have a promo from her, which is pre-recorded. She says she understands what the title means, and she says she knows opponents will now keep coming at her, but she is ready. She says blue flames don't flicker, they burn everything down. She says she will take the title where no one else has before, and this was a pretty cool promo, and she is basically asking for her next challenger. Don't know who that is going to be. But interested to see. The possibilities are pretty much endless of who that could be. So be interested to hear your thoughts on that. Look me up on Twitter or X. Let me know who you think might be Julia's first challenger. I'm hoping she's going to have a good long run, but let's see. This is a non-stop show tonight with the new shorter version. I'm not complaining. Now we've got Tiffy out, and I believe she's going to be announcing who she's going to face at Evolution. I got no idea, but I have heard on another podcast this week that Trish is around and was at this taping, so I think that probably fits. Tiffy comes out and says that since becoming champion, there's been a target on her back, and she was able to be the last woman standing against Nia Jax. She says she will beat Jade at SummerSlam, and tonight will pick her Evolution opponent. And before that happens, we get Jade coming out. Com's really talking Jade up on her way down to the ring. She says to Tiffy that she sees her. She likes what she sees. A good champion beating Nia. She says tonight you've got a choice to make, but choose carefully, because choose wrong and you won't even be at SummerSlam. Tiffy says she's pleased to see Jade here, as she has a surprise and Trish's music hits as she makes her way out to the ring. Tiffy says that she would like to offer Trish the chance to face her at Evolution for the title. And Trish goes on to say that Evolution holds a very special place in her heart and symbolises everything that they fought for back in the day, when even to get a single women's match on the card was a challenge for them. She thanks Tiffy and says, "My kids have never seen me as a champion." Tiffy says it won't be easy, it's not the Attitude Era anymore, so it doesn't matter if it's Trish at Evolution or Jade at SummerSlam. Everyone knows that the WWE Universe runs on Tiffy time. And that segment ends there. As I've said, I'm not completely sure that Jade's the right person, but obviously WWE want to push her, and I guess why not? We'll have a new face in the title picture. So Tiffy and Trish is fine. I'm pleased to see Trish on the card at Evolution. She deserves it. And honestly, I guess we know she's unlikely to win, as Tiffy versus Jade at SummerSlam is a big match. But never say never. It's certainly possible. You could have Trish win, Naomi cash in. It could all change. So although it feels unlikely, you just never know. And I like it. It's exciting. Moving right on now, we have Solo on a vignette, giving himself a round of applause. He's such an absolute tool. He says, "Happy birthday to America" from the new US champ. He introduces the new member of his quote-unquote family, Talatonga. He says this is nothing like a bloodline, this group is something special. He says now his family is complete, so I guess that possibly they finally exhausted the seemingly endless pool of relatives and dubiously related people to bring in. Maybe this is it now. But there could be a Tongan anywhere, so who knows. We get Trish put my teeth in, and we get Trish backstage, who has a quick chat with Jade, who basically says that she will see her at SummerSlam. But then we get Jade blindsided by crazy Naomi, who wallops her with the briefcase. Nick comes in. She says that she's sick of it and she wants Naomi, which sets us up with a no-holds-barred match at Evolution. And now ringside for the next match, we've got Fraxium versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. This one kicks off at 3 million miles an hour. And after some early, very breathless action, we get all 4 guys in the ring throwing hands. We then get Fraxium taking a bit of control as they both dive from the ring to take out both Andrade and Fenix. Tag team pedigree of Fraxium is showing though, as they manage to keep on the front foot. With a tag to Andrade, though, he manages to turn things round, hitting the Three Amigos on Nathan Fraser, as Fenix hits a massive frog splash, earning them a really close 2 count. Fraxium pulling off a stunning combination of moves and almost get the pin on Fenix, with Andrade having to dive in at the last minute and break things up. Andrade hits his double moonsault on Fraser, leaving Axiom to break the cover this time. This one though wraps up with Adios Amigos hit on Axiom, taking him out, and Andrade hitting the message on Fraser and getting the pin for the win. I think, wow, the team of Andrade and Fenix are phenomenal, and Fraxium get their first loss since coming to SmackDown. They are just phenomenal. What a match there, and just casually thrown in on any random SmackDown. That was brilliant. Take a breath. And to nick one of Jacob's catchphrases, this show is all gas, no brakes. It's absolutely frenetic and I'm not complaining. It's brilliant. We go now backstage. We got Damian Priest and he's there with Alistair Black. Priest wants to talk about Truth and tells Black that there's a match between Black and Truth next week on SmackDown. And Black says that Truth is going to be the victim of violence next week. Interesting. I guess let's see what they actually do with Truth now he's re-signed and is back. But is there anything for him past John Cena? I'm not convinced, but let's see how it works out. And now to the main event, which is Fatu and Jimmy versus JC and Solo, and this one kicks off. We have Solo rolling out of the ring like a cowardly heel, first thing to avoid facing Fatu. So Fatu makes do with beating the hell out of JC, tagging in Jimmy, who quickly gets the tables turned on him, and Solo at that point decides that it's safe for him to tag in. Solo is taking the mick out of Fatu whilst he beats up Jimmy, which, to be honest, feels like an error on Solo's part. I mean, at some point, Fatu is getting in that ring and is pretty likely to rip Solo's head off. So let's see if that comes true. And then finally, we get the moment we've been waiting for, which is Fatu in with Solo. Fatu smashing the hell out of Solo and the crowd loving it, and Solo well and truly getting his ass handed to him here. Fatu hits a super kick on both JC and Solo, setting them up for matching hip attacks in each corner, following it up by hitting a swanton on Solo. We got Fatu and Jimmy working together as they both fly out of the ring to take out Solo and JC. And this one ends quick as Fatu counters the spike, hitting a DDT, followed by his beautiful moonsault, covering Solo to get the win. So there we've actually had Fatu getting a clean cover on Solo, taking the win. I thought it was great to see Fatu team with Jimmy and hoping that Fatu gets his title shot soon. After the match, we get the start of a beatdown on Solo by Fatu. So obviously that wasn't enough for him. He's stopped by the new guy Talatonga and Tonga Loa returning from injury, and the numbers game soon pays off for Solo's gang with Jimmy getting wrecked. The beatdown continues as Fatu is held for Solo to deliver the spike as they powerbomb Fatu through the announce desk. We go off air tonight with Solo's new gang standing tall over a decimated Fatu. And is this us starting to build towards a Roman comeback? Is he going to be so outraged that Solo's brought in all these, I don't know what the right word is, odd jobs into what he's calling his new family? And is Roman going to make a comeback, join with Fatu and Jimmy? Are we going to get Jay back in now he's dropped the title as well? And are we going to have Bloodline Wars version, I don't know, 978 or whatever it is we're on to now? That's not me complaining. I would really love to see that. I missed Roman. I think WWE misses Roman. It's nice to have a different angle. But now, to be honest, with this new shortened show, I guess maybe they don't need as many talents. But let's see. I would love to see this building for a Roman comeback and a new Bloodline 3.0, wherever it'll be. Let me know what you think on Twitter. Honestly, guys, blimey, I need a lie down after that. What a crazy show. It was absolutely packed and brilliant, going from thing to thing to thing with so much packed in. I'm a massive fan of this new shortened show. All filler, no killer. And as we move first to Saturday night's main event and Evolution, both next weekend. Yeah, that's nuts, right? Saturday night's main event's next Saturday, and the following night on Sunday, we've got Evolution next weekend, guys. And then SummerSlam round the corner from that. Things are looking pretty great. I'd love to know what you guys thought. Get in touch. Twitter or X, whatever we're now calling it, at Amanda SD Review. And let's talk all things WWE. So all in all, a pretty good SmackDown for a pre-record. Pretty good SmackDown for a live show, in my opinion. So yeah, happy days. So, all that remains to say is that the summer of sport continues. We are all guns blazing watching Wimbledon. Hey, did you guys see John Cena at Wimbledon this week in the Royal Box? That was weird. Worlds collide. Not to, nick someone else's PLE name. And we've got the Women's Euros with England with their first match this evening against France, and Wales taking on Netherlands. What a time to be alive. And thank God the heatwave's over. But apparently we've got another one rolling in next week. So you can't have everything. Anyway, guys, that just about does it for this week's show. Thanks for having me in your ears once again. And remember, until next time, be kind.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.